Hi everybody, welcome to this first video. Uh, my name is Jonathan Wilson. I really don't like to display myself on video. I don't like to make a judgment on the appearance of my face, but sure, it makes it a lot easier to follow, and you get that sincerity because, as you can see, I'm not dressed up in a suit or fancy tie or make believe. I'm real deal, and what I basically am is I am a website designer. I am an affiliator, which is a marketer, online marketer, and I also an SEO enthusiast, which is search engine optimization. But in this case, I'm just gonna show you how to make your own homepage, which is the whole point of this session. That's a picture of me. That's one of my better days. Had a good hair day that day. So I just want to cover a few things that I'm going to cover in this video, right? There's 3 steps to make your own homepage, right? But the most important step is to actually take action. But nevertheless, there is 3 steps. Okay. The first step you need to do is actually register your domain with a hosting account. And in this case, I use JustHost. That's the first step. The second step then is to set up WordPress on your domain. I'll explain that in a minute. And the third step is to log into WordPress, which I will explain in a minute, and make your home page. That's the 3 steps, and it's really simple. But there again, people wreck your head with all this crap, and they overload you with so much information. You don't know whether you ask them after where you come in, you go. You don't know your ass from your elbow, nothing, because it's too much of a system overload. So at the end of the day, KISS, which means keep it simple, stupid, but like a dummy series. This book for dummies. Actually, those dummies are pretty tough because I've tried to read a couple of those books and they're also pretty head-wrecking. Anyway, let's keep it on track here. So, to register domain name with JustHost, let's just cover the step 1, which I'm going to cover in this video, is what is WordPress. Okay, let me explain. WordPress is basically a microwave meal. Doesn't really make sense to me, but I'll explain. You can go to the shop or Iceland or whatever country you're in, buy these pre-packed meals, grab a fork and stab the hell out of it, shove it in a microwave, stick it in for 3 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever the time is, add your spices and your personal ingredients, and bam, there's your meal. Excellent. That's WordPress. Or you can go and spend hours and hours prepping this meal, prepping up your veg, tenderizing your meat, letting it ferment, whatever you have to do, you can spend hours prepping it, right? And then you can put it all together and stick it on the table. In 10 minutes, it's all gobbled up. I did that stuff for years, and I still do it, but I do avoid it because there is an easier way. That type of cooking or that type of example is basically working with HTML, which is hypertext markup language, and that's real head-wrecking. Things like JavaScript and things like looking at href hop links and things like that. Really complicated stuff for new beginners, obviously. So I'm going to show you the easiest way, and that is to use a thing called WordPress. And basically WordPress is a system that's already in place. It's a structured, it's a website framing system that's in place, and it's absolutely free. Okay, you simply go and get your domain and you hook this free system into your domain and you build it the way you want it. You use things like plugins and themes, changes, backgrounds, and you'll love it. It's really easy. It's like understanding, I don't know, what's an example? Microsoft Word, maybe you knew 2003 and you have to learn 2007 and all these other fancy, but once you understand how the system works, it's easy. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Right? But you're going to pay me $1,000. I wish. But it does work. I'll tell you why, because I do this all the time. I can do it with my eyes closed. I can do it with no legs, no arms. I could do it with a voice recorder. I could do it in my sleep. I do this all the time. So I'm just going to show you exactly how I do it. And then, you'll be up and running. And then before you know it, you're making loads of money. But don't forget about me. Yeah. This is how it's going to work. Because what happens is that people say to you, I'll build you this website. Yeah. And they charge you a fortune. Sometimes you can pick up cheap enough ones, pre-made, but the problem is you have no control over it. You have no editing power, nothing. And when you go up there and you want to change something, boy kasha, they're going to slap you. And you're going to be paying out your whole. because they own the source, they own the editing power. But I'm going to show you how you can gain that control. And again, easy. Keep it simple. KISS. Right. First of all, what is a domain name? A domain name is basically what you want to call yourself. Depends what you're doing, what you're into. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but hey, I'm sure you can figure that out. So whatever you want to call yourself, you simply take that idea and you go to a host company, in this case Just Host, and you see if that domain is available, because you cannot own a domain name, you can only rent it. But the good thing is, once you rent it and it's available, but like an email, you may have to change something, you may not always get the name you want, but once you have that name, you will have rights to that. Nobody else will have rights to that, which is excellent, which is the whole idea of it. But you must keep up to your rental. That's it. That's what the domain name is. But you can't have a website online without a domain name, because you won't be found. It's like your address online. Like if you didn't have a postal address, how would you get your letters? Or how would you be able to advertise yourself? If you don't have a domain name, how are you going to make a homepage? It's impossible. Unless, of course, you pay somebody else. And then again, they're going to screw you for money. What does hosting mean? Well, hosting is basically a server from another remote server, another network, another computer, whatever you want to call it, another hard drive or another storage system, where your information for your website will be uploaded and they will store it on their server. And that means that you can then hook up your domain name and hook it up with your hosting server. In this case, it's Just Host. So I do suggest that you keep your domain and your host in the same place to avoid insanity. Otherwise, you may end up in a white jacket banging your head against a padded wall, because it can get really, really confusing. KISS. Keep it simple. Okay. Next thing. Monkey see, monkey do. This is the whole point of this system. I'm not doing this for my health. I do this because I love it. I've been teaching all my life. I'm not going to go into the history of what I do, but in this case, I'm going to show you how to do this. Right? You are the only person that can do this. It's really simple. Right? You have a video, which I'm going to make, which you're watching now. You got a WordPress thing. Watch the video, apply. Watch the video, apply. Just do exactly what I do. Obviously, you've got to decide to call yourself something different. You can't duplicate what I'm doing, but you follow the exact procedure. And if you're watching this in YouTube, just bookmark the link so you know where to find it when you go back. You can pause, you can rewind. You can go to the website that I have. You can drop me a line. You can register there with me. You can follow me that way. Entirely up to you, but you got to know how to get back so that you can apply this. Now it's 3 systems, but these 3 systems will take a bit of time, but it is only 3 systems. So monkey see, monkey do. It's real, and you can't learn it any other way. I mean, I will write articles on this stuff, but it will be like German, or French or whatever. It will make no sense. You may as well talk to a wall. But this way you can actually see what's going to happen right in front of you. But that's the whole point of it. Okay? And last thing, complete the first step before you watch the second step. That's that simple. Okay? Now, before we waste any more time, I'm just going to give a brief rundown of what WordPress is, and which I said to you is an open source. It's a free service, and there's a big button there that says download WordPress. But that's a complicated way, so don't do that yet. Just relax. You have all sorts of options. You have themes, which means you can change your character. You have plugins, which will turn your website into something amazing. You'll have loads of fun. And then there's also the applications you don't want to get into because I don't want to confuse you at this point. Yes. Right. First of all, go and decide what you're going to call yourself. At this point, I decided to call myself My Favorite Fast Cars. Why? Well, I checked before because I didn't want to waste time. And this is available. Okay, this is what you want to call yourself. Now, I have no interest in cars. I know how to smash them. I know how to break them. I know how to get caught with drinking and driving and speeding and maybe change oil in a tire. That's as much addiction I have towards fast cars. But maybe there is somebody else who has. This is just an example. Okay, so what you do then is you take this keyword. Now, before I go on, don't stress out. At the bottom of this video, there'll be all the links you need to go to where you need to go. So don't be stressing out thinking you got to save this, got to save that, because it's all under there for you. Right, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Right, so you take this keyword, which you've decided to call yourself. Now, I just put it in Google just so you could see it. I mean, you can type it, obviously. Then you go to Just Host. which is the host provider, I will do. I'm not going to go into great depth of why I use it. They are my favorite, my best, and to me they are the best, and they know their stuff, and they taught me a lot. Just quick history: I was playing around in the files where I shouldn't be, trying to think that I knew what I was doing, and I got stung, and I had 13 websites that I wiped out and did not exist. I went blue. I couldn't breathe. I thought it was the end of my life. I panicked. I Skyped them. They have a Skype service. I sent them a chat and an email. In 20 minutes, they put my websites back. Good service. Anyway, I'm not here to sell it. I'm just here to show you. And obviously, it would make sense to go with Just Host because that's the one I'm going to be teaching through. There's a big sign up button here. So you click that. Now, you will come to this page, which is congratulations, you have made a smart decision. Cool, whatever. Now, this is what you're going to be doing as a first person. Now, if you're trying to transfer a domain, you wouldn't be watching this because that's more advanced stuff. So we're going to basically take this keyword that we decided. Okay, again, just copy it and or write it, and we're going to paste it in this area, because if you don't have a domain name or an idea of what you want to call yourself, and you want to go and register a domain and a host account, they're going to ask you. If you don't know, how are you going to do it? You have to think of something. Think of what you want to call yourself. Make it relevant. And once you have that idea in your head, you just go and find out if it's available. So you just paste it in. Boom. There it is. Now you can see it's in 4 separate words. Now when it searches for that, that's not going to happen. It's going to congest it all to one word, because that's how domains work. Now there are extensions here. There's .com, .net, and .org. Now I highly recommend that you stick to these 3, obviously, as the first option, the second option, third option. They obviously have this in order for a reason. And obviously I wouldn't play with the other ones at this point. And there's a continue button here. When you hit continue, you can see it's congested to one word. Happy days. Then you get this message: my favorite fastcars.com is available. Now, maybe your first time it won't be available. As I said before, it's like an email. You may have to add something, but just be realistic about it. Don't start adding figures and letters. If it's my favorite fast car is not available, my favorite high power, whatever. Use your imagination. So in this case, it is available, and it even says step 2. Well done. Hey, I don't need to explain this to you. We've all bought stuff online. Just fill it out properly and just tell them what planet you're from, obviously. Once you get to that point, then hey, pull out that rubber card or plastic card you have and slap that number in there, because if you don't pay, you don't have. Right? And that's what you need to do. Now, this part here is really important. Okay? Obviously, like anything you do, we've all had to agree with terms and conditions. But this is where I basically hit flatline. I was pretty sure that I was dead, because when I first signed up, I wasn't paying attention, and I got whacked with a price of £229.14. I thought my life was the end. I thought I couldn't sleep at night. My family was starving. We all turned anorexic because it just sucked so much money out. I was like, what? And why? Because like a fool, I wasn't paying attention. Right? Because there's a lot of features here that are for advanced users. Come on. If you knew the basics, you wouldn't be watching this movie. So keep it simple. Yes. This here, right, on default is 3 years. Now, if you have a domain that you want, this all depends on your pocket. I do suggest that if you really want it, go for the 4-year period. But obviously, you're going to be paying a pretty big lump sum. But in the long term, you save money. But what I'm just going to show you is the basics here. Now, that's a 3-month set. So if you have something relevant to your name or your company, fair enough, go for it. But as a standard thing, stay away from the month one. I got stung. It was another host provider. I don't want to talk about it. I'm upset, and I still have nightmares about it. And one day, 1 hour late, they suspended my sites 4 times. And if these people weren't cyber based and I could find them in real life, I probably would have started a war, because they just had no flexibility, and it just drove me mad, because by human error we can forget. So As a safety option, let's go for the 6 month option. Okay. Now there's another little one here you got to be careful of. It's called privacy. Now, again, if it's company, feel free. I mean, if you want all this stuff, I don't regret it. I don't regret being nailed by this whack price now. But initially, can't go there. So just make sure you uncheck these things. This one here is for daily backup. Again, more for advanced stuff. Make sure you uncheck it. You can see the price dropping. And then this is site lock. This is the security side of it again. Uncheck it. Now, that looks a lot tastier, a lot more realistic. That 5238 is basically 6 months of hosting, which you need, and 6 months of domain, which you get free. It's a really good price. They all pretty much competitive in price because they have to be, otherwise they wouldn't exist. I wouldn't be paying triple to go with someone else, to be honest, anyway. So anyway, you just go with Just Host, okay? And then what you have to do then is complete the order. Now, obviously, it's not going to work because I haven't given them nothing. But when you do it, you're going to do it properly. And what's going to happen is you can choose. You can do it by credit card, or you can do it by PayPal. You know, if you've got enough feed in there, you can slap it through PayPal, which is quite handy because a lot of people use that. So there's the options there. And once you've done that, you'll be sent an email and loads of FTP coding, weird stuff. Don't panic. That's for later, and it could take up to 48 hours, so don't expect it instantly as well. But you have to complete this step before you can go to the next step, which is basically setting up the WordPress with your account. So now let's refresh. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to use a thing called WordPress, which is free. And I'm going to show you how to use WordPress to build your own homepage or website. But first, you have to decide on a keyword or phrase or something relevant. Then you have to go to the host company and you have to sign up. In this case, find the domain that you want and then go through the whole process. And don't forget the little, they're not traps, they are very beneficial stuff if you're advanced, but you don't want to be stung with a price like in the beginning. And then you complete the order. It's that simple. I can take you to the water, but I cannot make you drink. The hardest thing about building your own homepage or website or blog, whatever you want to call it, all the same thing, is taking the first step, is actually going and getting yourself a domain so you can exist on this big wide world web or the cyber world. You know, so you can get a www.myfavoritefastcars.com. You know, without that, you don't exist, and you won't get any further. So I'm going to leave it at that. So as I said to you, don't panic. All the links and everything you need will be at the bottom of the video. I will have links to other websites to help you out that I built as well. So there's plenty of support there. Just take that first opportunity and just go ahead and do it. And then you'll be ready for the next step, and I'll show you how to set up the WordPress on your domain that you bought an account. And then the last bit, I'll show you how to build your homepage. 3 steps. You take the first one. Thanks for watching.